Professor Warwick, I'm a physicist. Where's Dr. Dekker? Is he really? Actually dead? Not a worthy adversary after all, then. Dr. Dekker challenged me. He tried to use my theories against me. Quantum theories. Do you really want to know? Dekker's eyes used to glaze over whenever we talked about that. He didn't believe in quantum physics. As if it's something that you can optionally believe in. Well, it started with an experiment. Have you heard of quantum suicide, Doctor? Well, then I'll be brief. According to the laws of quantum suicide, if I were to shoot myself now, then one branch of my timeline would result in my death, whilst the other in my continued existence. I simply applied that logic to something different. Gambling. I set up an experiment whereby I would visit a casino and place a very large bet at a roulette table. Now, I would always bet on odd. Now, the results of this particular experiment were mundane. I won as many times as you would expect according to the laws of probability. But then, I changed a parameter. Why not gambling? My wife, Vanessa, left me for a neurosurgeon. She emptied our entire combined wealth into her barrister's wallet. I needed more money. Physics provided me with a solution. We were married for 14 years, 7 months, and 3 days. Vanessa couldn't have children. At least that's what she told me. She grounded me in reality. I'm not complaining. It's probably what I needed. Part of me always thought that one day I'd achieve immortality through science and we'd be... It wasn't to be, though. Well, yes, it bothered me, especially now that I find out that she's pregnant. Oh, no, it wasn't a rocket scientist that was required, but a brain surgeon, it seems. I have considered putting that neurosurgeon onto his darkest timeline, but I'm not a killer, it would seem. Quantum suicide required a loss of life to make it a realistic thought experiment. So I simply upped the stakes. Every time I bet on odd, I would place everything I had on that one spin of the wheel, and it worked. For a while. Dr. Dekker killed it, and I can't get it back. Well, my theory, quantum gambling. If the stakes are high enough, you will win every time by simply shifting your consciousness into that branch that wins. It's tricky, but it can be done. Dr. Dekker didn't like that. He saw me becoming rich and powerful, and he hated that. That's why he proffered the hangman's paradox. Well, imagine a judge sentences you to death. Now, it will be Monday or Tuesday next week. But it will be a surprise. Well, which day do you think you'll be executed? Well, it can't be Tuesday, because if you're still alive on Monday at midnight, then you know you'll be executed on Tuesday, so it won't be a surprise. Well, conversely, it can't be Monday either, because, well, you'll be expecting it to be Monday by deduction. Hence, a paradox. Dr. Dekker tricked me. He told me that sometime in the future I would lose a bet, that I would lose all of my money. Now, this didn't seem likely because I had quantum gambling on my side and it was working. But he unnerved me. He made me doubt myself. And then it happened. Recently, I lost everything that I'd managed to build up since Vanessa left me. Honestly, Well, I think he feared quantum physics. He didn't like things being explained in terms of science, almost as if he'd have preferred chaos. I was at a fundraiser for a charity called Mindstretch Outreach. Don't know how I got roped into that, I can't remember. But it was full of very clever children with bizarre outlooks on life. And Jaya. It was Jaya who asked me to go. He's full of poor kids with very capable minds. I did give them a talk on quantum tunneling once, and they loved it. Not sure it'll put dinner on the table for any of them, though. Oh, you're going to have to Google that, Doctor, I'm afraid. I'm not a walking Wikipedia. I'd love to tell you, but I am paying you by the hour. Maybe look up Schrodinger's cat whilst you're there.
Yeah, I am going to Google it. Quantum tunneling. I'm pretty sure I know what that is. What is quantum tunneling? The quantum where particles can pass through energy barriers they shouldn't be able to cross, even if they lack the classical energy to do so. It's a key property for quantum computers and has applications in flash memory, tunnel duities, and scanning tunneling microscopes. In classical mechanics, particles without enough energy would be stopped. However, in quantum mechanics, particles behave like waves with probability distributions that can extend past the barrier. This means there's a non-zero chance of detecting the particle on the other side. Quantum tunneling is important for life and is evolved in chemical evolution, prebiotic chemistry, molecular biology, and planetary habitability. It's also crucial for nuclear fusion, as it increases the chances of atomic nuclei overcoming the Coulomb barrier to start thermonuclear fusion. Interesting. Okay, so that's what it is. It is the Schrodinger's cat. So a particle turns into a wave when it's not being observed, and while it's in a wave function, it's able to pass through things that it normally wouldn't be able to when it's in a particle. So, very interesting. Okay.
Oh, she's Dr. Dekker's lovely assistant. I imagine she's your lovely assistant now. Yeah, she always smiles and makes me a cup of tea before a session. Smile. Which reminds me, my session. Can we talk about my problem now? I'm not a gambler, Doctor. I'm a scientist. I need more money. It's true I've run out of money for my research. An opportunity has arisen. Quantum gambling. It's a pet project. It's got nothing to do with work. But if I don't have significant amounts of money to lose, then there won't be enough jeopardy for the experiment to work. A very wealthy group of individuals have offered to pay me a very large sum of money if I attend their next private soiree. They don't want a talk or anything like that. They want a practical demonstration. They'll pay me £1 million if I can successfully survive 6 rounds of Russian roulette. Now, I am worried because of what Dr. Dekker said, but, well, can't help but thinking that the stakes are so high I can't possibly lose. What do you think, Doctor? Should I take them up on their offer? No. No, I suppose you're right. In a darker timeline, you probably said yes, and I'm dead now. I earn good money where I work. How do I stop losing it? Well, the Ministry of Defense, of course. Guns aren't going to win the next war. Quantum physics is. I take your point. But I suppose to decide whether to continue gambling or to stop gambling is a gamble within itself, isn't it? Well, my time is up. Will we be having another session or... No, don't answer that. It'll turn you into a gambler like me. Infectious. Isn't it?
It is. The thing about the quantum timeline thing, have you ever played the game, was it the Notary games, or God, what is it, Zero? Well, anyway, it's a visual novel game that is very much about that, where you're locked in a room and you go through different timelines right before you die, and it turns out that the consciousness of yourself, when you go into the timeline, gets pushed into the timeline where you were about to die, and so you're pretty much having yourself get murdered and get killed. And it really is the concept of, should I shift through my timeline so my consciousness will survive, even though the me that is right now gets murdered, gets killed, and you're just like okay with that you're fine. Which is kind of interesting. It is essentially killing yourself, which is quantum suicide. You're killing yourself so you survive. But I don't know. Just seems kind of wrong. Seems like you're still murdering someone, even though it's yourself. Even though technically, it would be suicide. But I don't know. It also comes with the theory of like how we would never be able to perceive our death. That we will go through the timeline, through the quantum suicide kind of perspective, where you're at the end of your life, you die, your consciousness shifts to a timeline that you haven't died. And it's supposed to explain like a whole bunch of things too. Like that's a way to explain the Mandela effect, if you believe it, the why things are slightly different, and why people's memories are fuzzy on that is that you died, and through quantum like tunneling or quantum suicide, you've shifted it into a timeline where you're alive. Which is why a lot of people also think that the reason why the Mandela effect's so massive is that we are from a lot of our consciousness is from a timeline where we have killed ourselves, where a nuke was dropped, an asteroid hit us, something happened, and a lot of us, or most of us, died, and all of our consciousness have shifted into a different timeline, since we can't ever experience death. Which could be kind of true. They do believe that certain things in the brain deal with quantum physics when it comes to your memory, which could be like our memories are all, our brains are all connected. It's pretty much our soul is all connected to all of the versions of us in every single timeline that exist. And when we die, we just shift into a different timeline. And we live forever, basically. which, hey, could be a possibility. I don't know, because I haven't died, and I don't necessarily really believe in the Mandela effect. I think people just have faulty memories, and when there's just too many issues where your brain, it makes the picture in your head that of what you see, but in reality you've only picked up on one or two details while your brain makes up the rest. There's a lot of theories of like or not a lot of theories, a lot of tests that show where you could be at a party, someone wears a red shirt, you can remember it's a red shirt, but then someone tells you, no, it's a blue shirt that he was wearing, and the more people that do it, eventually you'll get convinced that it was a blue shirt, and even in your memories, you'll see him in a blue shirt, but in reality it was always a red shirt because it's a small detail that your brain made up, and so it's easily changed, other than hyper-focusing on details. Which is why when the Mandela effects take place, it's usually a lot of small details that not a lot of people are paying attention to that our brain kind of makes up. And you could just be simply told, hey, yeah, this is what it is, and you're like, oh my god, that's how I remember it, but in reality, your memory of something can get changed from what is truly happening to what isn't actually happening. And, yeah. And so a lot of the quantum theory stuff is very interesting to me, and I think it does affect a lot of things in life and how we see the world and how we don't actually really see it. And it's pretty known. It's very much like anything that we see is in the past, because the light takes time to travel to our eye, and then it takes time to go from our eye to our brain, and it takes our time for our brain to define what it is that is actually shining into our eyes. And so it may not be a lot of time, but it's enough time for it to be in the past. And so everything we experience is like nanoseconds into the past. It's never actually the present. But anyways, I'm ranting on a little bit. I just really do enjoy quantum theory and things like that. So he's probably one of my favorite characters in this whole game, because he talks about it, and it is very interesting. But yeah, so anyways, let us go on. Alright.
A few weeks ago. It's still sinking in. I suppose living a lie is just the norm nowadays. Like I said, It takes something like a tragic event to move my day forward. I do more and more bizarre things to try and get things moving. It's a curse, like I said. If I cared about money that much, I wouldn't be working at a supermarket. I'm just trying to care about something at the moment. I intentionally cut myself, publicly humiliate myself, I steal things, I hurt people around me, just enough to get another day to start. I ran out of people around me pretty quickly. Yeah, I talked to her quite a lot. I'm not sure how many days of that she'd remember. She seemed to care, which is more I can say for Dekker.
Okay. 1 second. I'm done with him. I'll be back in 1 second. Jerk wings. Jerked wings. Ooh. They smell and look so good. Oh, god damn it. Alright. Now.
I'd been feeling uneasy with Dr. Dekker for some time. I mentioned how he'd changed before, so I began spying on him at home. One night, the basement door was open, and Dekker was returning upstairs. I skipped past him, and there she was, a girl. It was difficult to tell, it was dark, and she was chained. I'm surprised I haven't been approached earlier. I mean, my skills in the military. Special ops would be a breeze, wouldn't it? Waltz in past everyone during the midnight hour, get whatever you want, and return to friendly soil. It also makes me think that they might already know all of that, and that they want to get rid of me in case I tell anyone else. Would you do something for me if they get me? Would you tell Jessica I love her? She didn't really know me that well, but I did love her.
So good.
And also, there's a hard drive in the bottom drawer of my drinks cabinet. Please destroy it. Please, don't look at it. I removed the chains, dressed her, and sat her in the police station. There's no evidence, though. No evidence of what he'd done. But she was free. I saved her. I'm not evil. I destroyed evil.
Okay.
Whatever it is that's following me, it doesn't want to catch me yet. If I move towards it, it runs away. And when I follow it past temptations. A bar brawl, an open till, an open bedroom window. Like it's testing me. I split the brawl up. I did nothing. I'm not stealing anymore. I looked in. Watching other people is somehow built into our genes, Doctor. There was an old woman in bed. I went inside. Her bed covers were smoking. I think she'd fallen asleep holding a cigarette. I took the covers and put them in the bath. She'd have died otherwise. And no, I didn't take any pictures. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, Doctor. I saw Claire Castleford's husband in the coffin myself before carrying him to the grave. He is in the ground. I'm sure it wouldn't take much for the police to get an order to have him exhumed. Just make sure it's done on Tuesday morning when I'm off. Jessica is a beautiful woman. I've not spied on her since the incident we talked about. I have real feelings for her, Doctor. We've never connected. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. It's nice you think I'm capable of such basic interaction with females. But I'm still in awe of her, really. I will think about it, though. I put my hand through a rusty nail at work today. It hurt like hell and bled like I'd been shot. I closed my eyes and thought, this isn't happening. The nail is just a worm, and it will wriggle through me. When I looked back, can you guess what I saw? When I looked back at my hand, it was healed. Look, see? hand had healed. The nail had become a worm and was wriggling in my palm. It was like a little miracle, like magic. I shouldn't really say miracle or magic. They're words that Dr. Dekker used when he tried to get you to think things and make them real. But do you think it's real, Doctor? That magic is real? Then so it is. Close your eyes. Imagine you're in a graveyard, looking at the gravestones. One catches your eye, so you take a picture of it, a picture that you now have. I find using nautical terms to describe the position of pallbearers fitting. Plus, most of them are 3 sheets to the wind. You know, drunk.
Alright, oh god. Alright. The wings are pretty good. Got them from Publix. I'd say, 7 out of 10 maybe. I don't really like jerked wings. I like jerked wings, but I prefer other flavored wings. They just looked so delicious. You can't really go wrong with wings. But, okay.
I think that I'm becoming a good person, Doctor. I'm ashamed of some of the things I've done, but I'm getting better. The hooded figure, it's testing my morals. Judging me. For what? I don't know.
Yeah, if I had the ability to be able, that time would freeze. I think it would be hard to resist certain temptations of being able to do things that you'd be able to get away with. When I was younger, I used to think about being able to freeze time and do all these things, and I could sit here and be like, oh, I would help everybody, I would do all these things, but and it's very much true that you don't know until you're faced with the temptation of being able to do whatever you wanted to do with no consequences.
Sometimes a grave I've dug becomes undug. People blame it on grave robbers. Maybe. Maybe not.
Oh.
Maybe the grave was undug from the inside out, not the outside in. Only a gravedigger would know. I never spied on you at midnight. But if you start acting strangely, maybe I will. I didn't need an extra hour to realize Dr. Dekker was strange. The girl who was chained in the basement, her name is Iris. How do you know that? Not that it means anything. She wouldn't remember me anyway. Time was frozen. There's a hard drive with all the pictures I've ever taken on it. The one in the bottom drawer of my drinks cabinet. Don't let Jessica see it.
Here's the thing about the pictures, though, is if time is frozen and everything is frozen, how do the pictures work? How do you take a picture and it just is, and it actually takes the picture? If time's frozen, then the little mechanism that does the flash and all that stuff, it shouldn't work. Not in that way anyways, but it's kind of also another thing about the frozen time is like everything wouldn't work. Nothing would work. You would just, and I get that you could like move people or move things, but with technology like that, that's weird. Unless it's some like quantum camera. I doubt it.
In the last couple of sessions I had with him, he put the spike through his hand. He'd be grinning at me while he was doing it. No blood, no nothing. He tried to make me do the same, but I wouldn't. I believe that Dr. Dekker was a truly evil man, and so should you. I know you record these sessions, Doctor. I'm not going to be filmed saying I wanted him dead. But I did, and so should you. And Doctor, if I wanted to kill anyone, I'd do it in the midnight hour, wouldn't I? And when was Dekker murdered?
before midnight. Uh-oh. Slam.
No, I've never killed anyone. But then, even if I had, I'm not likely to tell you about it, am I, Doctor?
I mean, the last question, you're like, I wouldn't tell someone that I wanted someone to get killed. But yes, I wanted him to get killed. So...
I had no idea there was a connection between those two. Wow. Behind closed doors, eh?
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't feel lustful, Doctor. I was angry. If I had taken pictures, there would at least been some evidence. A sicker man would have taken pictures and saved the day. I don't often see auras, Doctor. But yours is unusual. Like, you're more than one person. Maybe I've had a few too many drams.
Yes, he did come back to life, but he's not a zombie. He looks like he always did. It's just his mind is encumbered. There's no way back.
Yeah. And here's another one. Bringing people back from the dead. I don't know if I would be able to do it. I mean, it's really hard to say. Especially if they come back and they're just zombies or whatever. Yeah, it would be a very useless thing to do. You know, unless you're creating some army or whatever bullshit, but even if they did come back and they were absolutely normal and there was no side effects, there's been a few times where, like in shows, they'll be like, oh, you took me away from heaven. Like, that's what happened in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They're like, oh, I was in heaven and you took me away. And so it's like, would it even be worth it? I mean, I guess it would be worth it if you're like, oh, this person totally went to hell and I'm going to bring them back so they don't have to suffer. But that would also only be... like temporary. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd want the power to bring people back. I mean, clearly, if something tragic happened, I would want to bring them back. But I don't know. You know, sometimes things are just meant to be, even the tragic things. You know, sometimes tragic things can lead to the good things in your life. And it would be an easy way to take it away, to take the tragic part out. But then, you know, the universe, it's filled with cause and effect. Good things can cause bad things can cause good things. If you disrupt one of them, you disrupt both of them. And I think that it would, in the end, altogether, be useless in any type of form that you would try to be happy. Like, yeah. So I think that it wouldn't work out in any type of positive way.
What? She was actually his prisoner. Bryce saved Iris? So that's 2 favors I owe Bryce now. And Iris? I'd probably have stopped her death if I'd known it was real. I suppose I should have a chat with her now.
Oh, nasty.
Oh, I found the key. It must have been there all along, in a drawer in the hallway. I could have sworn I'd looked there already.
Ew.
You don't have to analyze everything I say, Doctor. Sometimes a hallway is just a hallway. And yes, before you ask, the same goes for the drawer. The steak knife was the closest, sharpest weapon I could lay my hands on. I didn't really have much time to think about it. I didn't plan to kill my husband. It was a spur-of-the-moment thing. What is it with men and affairs? Is that why they have a shorter average lifespan?
I mean, probably. I don't know. I've never cheated on anyone, so that's the case. Hopefully, I'll live forever and ever and ever. And again, like I talked about earlier with the quantum suicide, maybe I will.
There was something delicious about the idea of getting revenge on Iris by having Dr. Dekker kill her. But I'm not wicked. David was dazed and confused when I brought him back to life, as you'd expect. He was scared. He didn't want me to go near him at first, which is understandable, as I did kill him. But I didn't really succeed in bringing him back. He wasn't a big talker before, but even monosyllabic words were more than what he seemed able to give me. He made sounds. I could understand him a bit. I thought he'd improve with time, like a child learning to talk, but he didn't. It's only recently that I've come to that conclusion that he's not going to get better. He's not going to be right again. I think it's his brain. At least he is safe where he is. The lake house. He doesn't move from there, for good reason. David shouldn't be alive, so he can't just stroll around the neighborhood. It's unseemly. I did think he'd be able to rejoin society at some point, but not anymore. He's getting worse, not better. Do you see David here? No, Doctor. That would be ridiculous. I'm sorry, Your Honor. What I meant to say is that David never leaves the vicinity of the lake house. I think his hunting would be severely restricted by trying to do it from the kitchen window. He was stabbed in the heart. Then I'd say whoever killed him didn't want to leave any room for error. Well, that's what he would say, isn't it?
Oh, she didn't turn green. Okay. Alright, let's use a hint. Did David talk to Dr. Okay, yeah, all I said, did David talk to
You're saying that my David would speak to Dr. Dekker, but not his beloved wife? I don't think so, Doctor. And even if that were true, what would he say? What would he tell him?
Okay, now she's green. Alright, everybody's green.
You can stop looking at me like that. You've made me do this. And don't try and escape.
Back
You're
to
all
my
tied up.
jerky wings.
Now tell me the truth. Is this a dream? That's a good doctor. Yes, it's all a big dream. So let's get down to business. Do you believe that people can have kinetic powers? And how do we treat people with kinetic powers? Do we encourage them or do we discourage them? Oh, Doctor, how disappointing. We've been through this already. Encouraging them to use their power just makes them worse. That's what Dr. Dekker did. Look at him now. I thought you were different. Oh, I thought we'd get on, but I'm wrong. Enjoy your sleep, Doctor.
There's someone else in my hour.
I brought David back to life.
I removed the chains, dressed her.
It was Iris.
We could try shifting now.
Would you like to see David, Doctor?
Sorry.
We both read The Cult of the Kinetic Mind, and that broke. It's no coincidence that most psychokinetic patients are
Grateful if you could see your way to declaring me
insane, or at least
temporarily insane.
There was no flame. And then there was.
I'll kiss a guy,
I pretended like the hypnosis had worked.
and then he just follows me
Can we maybe not talk about Hannah anymore?
wherever I go.
You may just still pull out in front of the driver.
Morning, Doctor. Looking a bit unwell. Are they getting you all wound up? Well, have a look at this. I found it in Dropbox. Apparently, Dr. Dekker lent Mariana some money. Sounds dodgy, doesn't it? I also got the toxicology report back from Officer Yates, and shocker, Dr. Dekker had to read it. I should have spoiler alert tattooed on my forehead. And can we not do the grief counselling thing today? I'm all sorts of behind on work, and I'm getting more stressed out watching it all pile up. If you need anything, though, I'm here.
Scarlett, I haven't been in since he died. Since Dr. Dekker died. He was a complicated man, as I suppose most people are. His external persona didn't match what he dreamed about. His dreams were amazing, filled with a spectrum of colours and creatures. It was like Narnia for grown-ups. But that was in the beginning. I'm a dream walker. I can visit people and help them in their dreams. You've not caught up on all his old patients yet, then? Fluid, soft, intricate things. I couldn't draw a picture if you asked, but they drew you to them. They looked a little strange, but you felt compelled to watch them. Chaotic, dark. Like an earthquake, everything you stood on shifted into something else. I think he was fighting with something internally, and it was winning. I don't know. It's a turn of phrase. Inner demons? Insanity? I don't know. I can visit dreams, but I can't force the dreamer to interact with me. It's something I've been able to do since I was little. I was born an identical twin, and my sister and I shared dreams. We just thought it was normal. When our younger brother started having night terrors, we helped him. I just need to know the person, a little, and know they're dreaming. Then I can sort of jump into them. It's something, I think, in my mind. Firstly, I need to sleep myself. I'm constantly tired, so I can pretty much sleep on demand. Before I go, I think of jumping into that person. That's how it works for me. I've tried teaching others, but I don't know if anyone else can do it. I don't know. Lots of people. Whenever I get close enough to tell somebody about it, the first thing they want to do is try it out or have me visit their dreams. That's kind of why I'm here. Relationships.
Okay.
It's difficult to sustain them. I'm not just talking about romantic entanglements. It's hard keeping friends, too. Like I said before, I tell them about my ability and they immediately want to try it out. problem is. I don't normally like what I see. I think people try to show off. Firstly, they're a bit shocked if I turn up in their dream. But when they're comfortable with that, they start to put on a show. But most people can't control their dreams, so they tend to turn into nightmares pretty quickly. Oh look, I'm dreaming of a giant Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Oh, why is it destroying New York?
Yeah, that's the scene from Ghostbusters. Yeah, if I had the ability to jump into people's dreams, I actually think that would be interesting. I've always been kind of interested in dreams. Dreams have a weird place in humanity. No one really knows why we dream or what it is. I've tried to lucid dream before. I've only ever done it once. It was fine. Ended up slapping someone, and then I just woke up. But if I could jump into people's dreams, it definitely would be I think that would be an interesting power, because I'm already fat. I have weird, crazy dreams all the time. Like last dream I had, one of my old co-workers that I worked with, him and Brock Lesnar tried to murder me, and I escaped. And like went to my sister's house and like hid out, and then I tried to call the police, and then when I did, I told them everything that was going on, and then all of a sudden a woman's voice goes on there and goes, "Oh, well, who's your girlfriend?" And then all of a sudden I realized that they're going to murder my girlfriend in my dream, and then I woke up. So it's a crazy dream. Had dreams about black holes, being in insane asylums, the world flooding. A lot of my dreams are a mixture of like whatever I did that day, or like with my job, well, my old job now, and with like whatever video game I'm playing, usually mixes together, and I have the craziest dreams. There was one where fucking Joe Pesci was delivering pizzas, and I made sure that he was okay. I don't know. It was... So I have a very big interest in dreams, and so if I was able to jump into people's dreams, I think no matter how weird and crazy it would be, I think it would be very just cool, especially being in a position where you can control yourself and what's going on and knowing it's a dream. And I mean, I would probably, yeah, if I could actually do it, I would probably work for the police or whatever and jump into criminals' minds and just see how people tick with it. And I think that's would be a very interesting power. But I get that, like, you probably wouldn't be able to build a lot of relationships, because if you jumped into their dreams, you would be kind of pushed in their subconscious. But I don't know. I think it's interesting. And yeah, and the reason why I am stopping and actually talking about what I think and all this stuff is because I am buying time, because this game has a trophy where you have to play a single playthrough for 8 hours, and like yesterday I think I hit 3 or 4 hours, and so I PlayStation on, so it counted whatever time until my PlayStation turned off automatically. So yeah, and it's also why I'm letting everything play out, and then talking about it. Ooh, those jerky wings. They were good. But yeah, so
when you've experienced someone's dream, if they've been a bit creepy in it or terrified me, it's hard to look someone in the eyes after that. It's embarrassing. What should I do, Doctor? Should I not tell people about my ability? Keep it a secret, bottle it up?
Well, wait, I lost my place. But, yeah, I mean, I would just know, that they don't have control in their dreams. Like you have control of yourself in that dream. So...
I'm not sure that's healthy, but I guess I could give it a try. What if it accidentally comes out? Is there anything else I can do to stop pushing people away? So, if I could breathe through my ears, you wouldn't want to see it. I do say no. A lot. But I usually cave eventually.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's pretty easy to not tell people, I could jump into your dreams. But, I don't know.
Double honest. Interesting. I suppose I haven't really tried that. I might just give that a go. It's difficult to do when you experience them like I do. But I know what you're saying is right. A lot of the time I assume people are controlling their dreams like I can.
Yeah.
But they're probably directed by their subconscious, and who controls that?
Yeah, exactly. So, the fact that she's all freaking out over that, it's like, how would you not already figure, like,
now,
they don't control themselves?
So I suppose it won't affect him if I admit that. So yes, I was. Not near the end, though. Not when his dreams started changing. Like I said, my ability ruins relationships. Who told you? Jaya?
Which, yeah, I mean, if you're in a relationship, I can get jumping into someone's dreams every now and again.
Thought she'd know.
But if you're jumping in the dreams every single night, yeah, that's probably...
Sorry. We didn't speak that much. But she was a lot like the other woman. So much control over someone who was supposed to be her superior. Valentine's Day was awful. I had a bit of an accident with a creme brulee torch and had to spend the night waiting in A&E. I melted a nail to my finger. It hurt a lot and needed stitches. It's all fine now, though.
But yeah, if you're in a relationship and your partner's like, yeah, I want you to jump in my dreams every single night, I would be kind of weary about that person. I would, if I came across someone that could jump into my dreams, I would probably let them do it a couple times, but I definitely wouldn't want that to be an every night thing. I would want to keep my dreams to myself, because I do find, like I said, my dreams pretty interesting, and I would want to kind of, yeah, be the one to talk about it, instead of having just someone watch my dreams. So,
Perhaps this session is a dream, Doctor. I don't see anyone else around. Do you?
Indeed.
And this is exactly what I'm talking about. You're asking me for proof. How can I do that? Get into your head, into your dreams? We don't have any real relationship yet, Doctor. But you are growing on me. Let's not break that just yet.
Yeah, in this setting, as a therapist, yeah, I probably, especially not on the first day, asked them if they could dream. I would just assume that they're kind of, kind of crazy, but...
Sorry, I'm Glenn. I didn't expect to be here. I was looking for the men's room. Like I said, I was in the green room. You know, that new restaurant in town. I actually need to do something. Done. Sorry. I was in the middle of a day and needed the restroom, and here I am. Sorry, you're not familiar with my case. I stepped... Sometimes when I go through a door, it opens to another place.
Cool little camera view.
I shouldn't imagine she did that. I didn't even pass through the waiting room. Besides, it's lunchtime, she won't be there. No, not really. But it's lunchtime, and you don't normally see patients now. Well, Dr. Dekker didn't normally see patients now. Dr. Dekker was crazy. I arrived late to the party. Apparently, he was a fine, upstanding citizen before. I don't know what changed him. Of the few sessions I had with him, he'd observed me walking through doors. Walk through a door and I'd disappear. Then I couldn't get back. The session was £150 either way, so I paid that for a couple of times and then decided it was a bad idea. As you can see, it's still happening.
Yeah, see, this one would definitely be annoying. If every time I walk through a door, like, you would just not be able to live life in any real type of way. If you just walked through a door and you went somewhere, I mean, you would be forced to just steal. You couldn't have a job. Because when you'd walk into the door of your job, you would just go somewhere else. You would just happen to have to come to a place where there's food, grab the food, walk through a door, and hope you show up in some area where you can eat the food. And that'd be the only way to survive. And showing up into therapy sessions or whatever, this would be an actual crazy, horrible thing at my point. Like, you wouldn't be able to really make plans, you wouldn't be able to connect with people, you wouldn't be able to do anything. You would just have to hope that when you walked into a place, it was a place where you can either relax, gain your bearings, be able to eat, be able to sleep, be able to use the bathroom, be able to do anything to... But there's so many doors out there. The amount of times that you would walk into someone's house and not be able to explain why you've just shown up into their place or shown up into the psychiatric place. This would be horrible. This would suck. That's probably like one of the worst ones.
The doors. I'm still vanishing from one place to another. Dad died. he was on his deathbed and I was complaining about work, women or whatever. It was an idiom. He said, when one door closes, another opens. When he died. I needed those words to be important. So here I am. He was stoic. He had tuberculosis in his lungs. That's what killed him. Nobody knew until the end. I never got to say I loved him. Yeah, maybe. He'd split with my mum 3 years earlier. It was messy. It was bad. I didn't talk to him really at all. They called me as next of kin, said I should come in if I wanted to say goodbye. I did love him. He just broke everything. No. I hadn't seen him for so long. I just let it all out. I screamed, I shouted, I punched the walls. Do you know what he said? Sorry. Over and over again. Like he really meant it. He did. He really meant it. And when I stopped, when I was exhausted, he smiled at me. Like he cherished me. Like he'd been waiting to say sorry. Waiting for forgiveness. I didn't get to. I didn't get to say I loved him. I didn't get to forgive him. He just said when one door closes, another opens. And then he died. What does he think of me? All those years, thinking I was the bigger man. It turns out he was. There's no going back, is there, Doctor? When one door closes, it's shut forever. How? How do I go back? I think you're probably right. I've been trying to address the symptoms and not the root of the problem. You might be the best replacement doctor this place has seen. I'll book a real appointment next time, and you can help me with this. Thanks, Doctor. Is this some kind of joke? Just because you don't believe what I'm saying doesn't mean you have to make up your own stuff. Guess I'm getting what I paid for with your advice.
Yeah, free?
I hadn't thought of that. I've just been thinking when I open a door, it goes somewhere else in the present, not in the past. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. I'll try that. Now. I'll try that now.
Oh, God. All right, give me a second. Oh, whoops, Daisy. I am stepping outside for a second, so if you can't hear me, I'm not going to really say anything important during this time.
same sleeping pill Dr. Dekker prescribed me. Why would he mix those with alcohol? People are such idiots. Which reminds me, that truck driver died. What are you trying to do most? Cure his patients or find out who killed him? Well, at least you're being honest. Do you know that Dr. Dekker thought one of his patients was trying to kill him? Alcohol isn't something I usually notice on people until they're slurring and weaving around. Was Dr. Dekker an alcoholic? Probably. I never saw him drink, though. The truck driver that ran into Hannah, he was divorced apparently. Killed himself. He mixed sleeping pills with alcohol too, but he died in his garage. I read it in the paper. He'd been drinking. Then he took the sleeping pills. Then he went into his garage and put the hose pipe through his window. Not until he put his daughter in the seat first. It's one of those newspaper stories you read and you hope it says he leaves behind his wife and 7-year-old daughter. But his daughter was in the car. Do you know, I wrote him a letter. Dr. Dekker told me one of the ways to get through my grief would be to write a letter to the truck driver. I tried to forgive him. I know it was my fault, but the thing that made me feel best was blaming him. I think maybe he killed himself because of me. Do you think I'm to blame, Doctor? I didn't think you'd say that. I think in the court of law, I wouldn't be found guilty. There was a picture of his daughter in the paper. Molly. Ever since I saw a picture in the paper, I've started thinking I could see her. Out of the corner of my eye. Like she's watching me. Crazy, right? He told me in one of our sessions, which was later rewound, that someone had been leaving him messages on his prescription pad. Not good messages. He didn't tell me anything specifically. Just death threats. It was one of his many rants. I just sat there quietly, hoping he wasn't going to try and hypnotise me again. I asked him if it was a boy or a girl's handwriting. He said he knew who it was, and that they'd be in trouble. I think he was bluffing. My solicitors assured me that I wouldn't have to discuss anything about my trial with you, so I'm not going to. Concentrate on my state of mind, and let me worry about other things. Please do. I wish I could believe you. I can't really explain it, but she seems like such a friendly person. I think the police are barking up the wrong tree. I think I've probably said too much. It's probably not the same girl anyway.
Oh. Okay. I'm back. But that cigarette has made me want to use the bathroom, and I'm not going to bring my headset into the bathroom. I'll be right back. See, him, if I had to relive the same day over and over again, yeah, it would suck. I would constantly do a bunch of things that you can only get done in one day. And, but, eventually that would stop. I would get bored. And if there was some way to push it forward, like doing something, I don't know, to get past my past, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it would definitely not be a good one. I do feel like, because he does mention Groundhog's Day, I do feel like there would be a montage of, like, well, the montage of it. I don't think I can actually say that on YouTube. Like, YouTube gets mad, I guess, about stuff. But, yeah, it would be... It would suck to have to relive the same day over and over and over again. I mean, unless it was a great day. If it was just a boring, mundane day that you had to live over and over and over again, it would not be good. And even if it was a great day, eventually it would become boring, and you would get bored of everything.
Yeah, save Molly. As if that wasn't one of those days that just moved into the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Read the papers, Doctor. I don't, but people at work talk about it. Missing people, dead bodies.
Mm-hmm.
The police are looking for a redhead, apparently.
Read the papers. I mean, I don't. Yeah, do that thing that I don't do. Right.
What's wrong with Mariana? Wait, don't answer that. I'll let you know.
I'll let you know.
I don't think he knew who was behind the death threats, or he'd have stopped it.
Okay, green.
I feel thirsty, Doctor. And hot. Do you have any water? Do you forget anything from our sessions, Doctor? People follow me to the beach. I don't know who they are, and I don't know what happens to them. I don't always get followed, though, so it doesn't explain my blackouts. I've been drinking a lot of water recently. I didn't go to the beach. I didn't go to the sea. I said I would, but I didn't. I've been feeling this way for a while. It's like it's getting worse because I didn't go to the sea. It's like I'm having... I said I don't know what happens to them. It's not always to the beach. Sometimes they follow me home. What's temazepam? Why are you asking? He lent me some money to start my business. It was a proper agreement. I remember signing things. He thought that a distraction would do me good. I don't think he expected me to trawl the beach for treasure and sell it online. Dr. Dekker thought I had too much time on my hands, so a distraction would do me good. He lent me $15,000, all in all. I've seen Dr. Dekker drink, but not that much. Certainly not during our sessions. He had other things on his mind, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. That does bring me to her. I guess there's two versions of this. If people were entranced by me and they followed me everywhere, it would be very unnerving. It would be unnerving if I went to the beach and I swam in the beach and they got eaten by some monster, and I blacked out during all of it. That's also another thing, is people following you and then you black out and then the next day they're dead. It would be very unnerving. Now, that being said, would I follow her and get eaten by a monster for a chance? You know, I mean, she is a very beautiful woman. She is very much a siren, and I don't know if I would have the willpower to stop myself. I have a thing for redheads. I don't know, you know.
My home is in Chantry. You know that. You rang my doorbell last night. I have this recurring dream. I'm at the beach. I strip and walk into the sea. The sea feels warm and comforting. Not cold and harsh like you'd think. I swim down to the bottom of the ocean. I can breathe freely. I can breathe water. On the ocean floor ahead of me, there's a beautiful creature. A glowing being with wispy limbs. It's so warm. I'm transfixed. But my feet shift. I'm unsteady. Below me, the floor is woven in human flesh. Dead bodies, but some of them still struggling for life. These are the ones touching me, gripping my feet. I scream. That's when I wake up. Do you have that dream, Doctor? It's horrific and beautiful at the same time. It's a dream, Doctor. Stranger things happen in dreams. I don't know. I didn't kiss you, but you just followed me, like the others. I don't feel comfortable here, Doctor. I'd like to leave. I don't feel well. I feel sick most of the time, dizzy, thirsty. I got a head fog like you wouldn't believe. My doctor, Dr. Rose, sent me for blood tests. Dr. Rose thinks maybe I have a vitamin deficiency. I can tell she has no idea. She smiles, but she hasn't got any answers. I think I probably need to go back to the beach. The sea, Doctor. It's calling me. This sounds crazy, but I can hear the sea. It's like an alarm going off in my head. Do you know where the sea is? From here? It's over there. Wherever I am, I know exactly where the sea is. It's like a compass. I hear a sound like singing, calling me. It gets stronger when I face it, when I move towards it. That's how I know where the sea is. But when I don't go to the sea, I feel like the sound gets louder all the time. I'm having trouble sleeping. Perhaps I need sleeping tablets after all. I don't take sleeping pills. Never have done. When you suffer blackouts already, you don't really get offered anything like that. It's a referral letter, Doctor. Don't overthink it. A girl can't be too careful with everything that's been going on. If you say so, it must have been your twin then. I don't know if I have a twin. Do you have a twin, Doctor? I know you don't. It was definitely you, wearing what you're wearing now. No, there's been no dancing. I haven't been feeling that well, Doctor. He's the cute, sad-looking one, isn't he? He asked me out, and I said I'd let him know. Do you think I should go out with him? Okay, but if he goes missing, don't go looking at me. You said it with such a serious look on your face, I almost believed you. It would be good if you had some kind of superpower that helped me, but I don't think so. I know where the sea is, wherever I am. I'm an Aquarius, maybe this is a water bearer thing.
Right.
I'm sure you've asked me this before. I sell necklaces, made from things I found on the beach. He wanted a clause in our loan agreement that said I didn't have to pay him in the event that he died. He wasn't expecting to die, he was just concerned my anxiety would get worse, wondering what it would mean if he did. Wow. Are you trying to scare me? I'm not sure that's a good idea, Doctor. Mainly rent.
Mainly rent. Alright.
Yeah, I'm anxious about being ill. I do nothing. People follow me. I don't ask them to.
Okay.
Hilda died last night. I was there. Well, I was there as her daughter. It was nice. She had a good death. She got to say what she wanted to say. I think of Dr. Dekker every time one of my patients dies. It makes me remember how he didn't care about his mum. He was a good therapist. He was a lousy son. I was angry at Dr. Dekker. Hilda's daughter, she's in Australia, so fair enough. Maybe she really couldn't get over to see her. But Dr. Dekker's mum was dying literally on the other side of town, and he just couldn't be bothered. I shifted for her, but in a way I wish I hadn't, because it let Dr. Dekker off the hook, you know? I didn't realise how little he cared until I told him the news. Dr. Dekker drank a bit. I didn't say anything about it, but well, it's not very professional, is it? I mean, it's not like he was drunk. It must be very stressful being a therapist. Do you find it stressful, Doctor? I can tell just by looking at you. This job has really taken its toll on you. Most people have taken sleeping pills at some time or another, haven't they? It's probably quite easy to get hold of them. Although, I have to get a doctor to sign a prescription if I need any at work. It's probably the same for Jaya. seems really nice. I don't know why she'd want to work in a place like this. I just mean, get all these weird people coming here. I mean, I've met some of them out in the waiting room. I know they're just people, but a couple of them have seriously given me the creeps. She's a slightly older one, isn't she? Always well dressed? Yes, her. I'm pretty good at picking up on people's energy, and hers is cold. Actually, I think I sort of know her. Claire Castleford, isn't it? Apparently, she attacked her husband or something. Hilda was Hilda to the end. I was the doting daughter. Don't worry, everything's going to be okay. I love you, Mum. Then Hilda, with almost her last breath, looks me straight in the eye and says, "Don't let them take Amelia." You've never seen me angry, have you, Doctor? Don't say things like that when you don't mean them. It causes upset.
It causes upset.
Amelia's Hilda's doll. She used to have about 9 or 10 of them, all glassy-eyed and creepy looking, with frilly dresses and curls. All over her room they were. In the end, we had to get rid of them. They weren't very hygienic. But we let her keep one, and that was Amelia.
Yeah, so for this power, being able to shift to someone's loved one before they die, I wouldn't really want that power. I definitely would feel obligated to be there for people, but just watching people die, even if they have a moment of like happiness because you're their loved one, like, I don't know, that'd be tough. I wouldn't want that power. But I don't think it's really an evil power to do anything. Now, she was getting gifts and stuff from them. Now, if they were just giving them to her as she was, then it'd be whatever. But if she was getting the gifts while she was looking like their loved one saying things, then that is a big, I would say that's kind of a problem. But yeah, that's just my point on this.
Mother. Was I supposed to have a letter? Terry hasn't been into work for a few days. I hope there's nothing wrong with her. Terry and I are never going to be best friends, but I wouldn't wish her ill. Yes, once. I wanted to show him what I could do so he could see for himself. I took his hand, I told him to think of a loved one, and then there was nothing. I mean, literally nothing, just an empty void. The only thing I could feel was his hand holding mine. I'm pretty sure without that I'm not sure I could have made it back. Yes, I told Dr. Dekker. Most other people wouldn't have believed me, but he did. In fact, he cared far more about the shifting than he did about his mum dying. For a moment, I thought he might cry, just for a split second. But he didn't. He just carried on with our session. I wish I knew what went on there. Jaya probably knows. She spent quite a long time with Sarah when she visited. I'm keeping her safe until I can pass her on to Hilda's daughter. Maybe she'll fly over for the funeral. I don't know. Are you okay, Doctor? You look a bit pale. I become what people want to see. But some people, they're not right in the head. They make me turn into horrible things. That's why I won't shift for anyone with mental problems anymore.
I wonder what horrible things. Hopefully that's a question. Okay, yeah, that's a question a little bit further down the line. Okay. Because then that would make me wonder if it was...
I thought about that a lot, because shifting is only supposed to work on people who are dying. But Dr. Dekker was near death. Just because no one knew it doesn't mean it's not the truth. It kind of gets you thinking about destiny and fate and everything like that. Bryce? I'm not sure who that is.
Here we go. What sort of horrible things?
One guy, a patient, he used to have night terrors. An 80-year-old man screaming and kicking in his sleep. When I shifted for him, I don't know who I became, but as soon as he saw me, he was terrified. And when I looked down, I didn't have any legs, just bits of them.
He was probably a war vet. Okay, so he probably saw his buddy, but saw him like all blown up and stuff. That I don't know. Interesting. Which would freak me out too, and I would. So I guess you don't necessarily. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this one.
Shifting is what I'm supposed to do. It's what makes me special. I know I've had a few bad experiences, but there's no way I'm going to stop shifting.
Yeah, maybe I'm just not kind-hearted enough. I don't know.
I don't think I know her.
Okay.
I don't know who Nathan is. I only shift when I want to. It doesn't happen on its own. I have to will it. My mum's a big believer in fate. I'm not so sure. I mean, what about free will? If everything is fated to happen, then we're just machines carrying out commands. Maybe fate does have a plan for everyone, but who says we have to play along?
Yeah, that is kind of a thing. I do sort of believe in fate. I believe that there's key points in your life that kind of happen, that are supposed to happen. But I do also think that the point of getting there is your own choice. Like we're all fated to die, and the way we live is our choice. Or there could be just key parts that happen in your life, and you can make all these choices and live a different way, but these things happen. Kinda in like these choice video games, where you make the choices, and it does kind of change the ending, but in the end, you still have to get to that same endpoint. Like, you always come back to that endpoint, but your choices kind of change sort of the outcomes. And so I believe there is a mixture of fate and free will that works in and of itself. But also, there's a lot of things of how our DNA, our genetics, our mind thinking are all predetermined by how we live our childhood. But even then, you kind of still have the choice as a child of how you look at things. But and then, like, every choice you make is already predetermined of how you will make it, depending on all these aspects of your life. But I don't know. I think it's too much. There's always an X factor to every single thing in life, and it can't just always be predetermined. When someone changes their life, I don't know, the likelihood of the fact that you're supposed to, say you're addicted to something and you try to quit your addiction, you're predestined to fail 6 times, and then the 7th time you do succeed, and then all of a sudden it works out. The fact that the choices that you make, or it's fated to be that way, seem a bit too, what's the word? It seems a bit too far-fetched for that kind of thing to happen. Now, sure, there's certain things of like what you taste, kind of how you perceive things, but I don't think that it could just all stay connected to like predetermination. And I think there is a mixture of that, like I said, a mixture of fate and a mixture of your choices, kind of wrapped in to one. Yeah.
Amelia's Hilda's doll. She used to have about 9 or 10 of them, all.
Okay.
I hope so. I'm trying to be. I really am.
Yeah, she seems like a good person. Alright, now to Claire.
There's no lake house today, sorry. David's not doing very well. He's caused a problem with the girl. I need to do something. The little girl, our neighbor at the lake house, she says David is weird and creepy.
Doctor! Oh, sorry, but I found some of the referral letters we were talking about. There is a pattern, but it's not the same for everyone. He said to get them to you ASAP, so here you go.
Yeah, I'm still not quite sure. What the connection is. I mean, I know what the connection is that they're all being told to come here and pretend they have a psycho. Well, it all depends on, I guess, what ends up that, but they are all told to come here. So, but, I don't know. All right.
David has been hunting and skinning again. But from the look of the torso, he caught a domestic cat. I'm being generous. It was definitely a cat. I spoke to David about it, but I have no idea if he can comprehend me or not. He just grunts at me. He doesn't even smile anymore. Not at all. Ah, yes, sorry. I left out an important detail. The girl, Anushka, she was crying because her cat had gone missing, and she thinks that David killed it. Doctor, I'm worried. I'm worried that David's not going to stop at cats. He's killed deer, rabbits, wild birds, and now cats. I'm worried he might add little girls to his list. I can't stop him. I can't stop him. I can't control him in any way at all. Ever since I brought him back from the dead, he has done nothing but ignore me. I'm starting to think that I need to put David out of his misery. That I need to end his suffering. That I need to kill him again. What shall I do, Doctor? Should I kill David? I love him so much. But you're right. It's time. He's becoming a danger to people around him, not just himself.
Yeah, so that, I mean, this is definitely something that I have believed kind of wholeheartedly. If like a zombie situation happens, I wouldn't really feel a lot of regret or loss if a loved one turned into a zombie. I would kill them, and even vice versa. If I ever turned into a zombie, please kill me. Do not sit there and think that like, oh well, maybe he'll not hurt me, because that's never how the zombie thing works. Even if they do, like, in 15 minutes come up with a cure, do not at all put yourself at risk for me being a zombie. I mean, for me, if I did kill someone that I loved, and then it's like, oh, by the way, there's a cure, and then I just feel, I would feel bad about it, but it wouldn't be the same way as if I just killed someone. If someone was a zombie and I killed them, and then there turned out to be a cure, I wouldn't feel as bad as if I just killed someone. It's as simple as that. And yeah, vice versa. Just if I turn into a zombie, kill me. Kill me. But I don't know. If I wouldn't have let it go on. I mean, the way she was doing it, he was going hunting and doing all that stuff, which is something he already did. Like, if I just started hunting, I'm not a hunter. It would be definitely, if I brought someone back and then they all of a sudden start hunting and killing, and that's not something that they would do, I would definitely be like, I think it might just be time to already put him down. I don't know. That's just my thoughts on all that. So
I've never used sleeping pills. I'm too afraid of what would happen to me in my sleep. If Dr. Dekker was an alcoholic, he hid it well. I never saw him drink. He certainly never offered me a drink. God knows I could have used one. I never talked to Bryce, but I did talk to Iris. I told her who saved her and that it was a patient here. She broke down on the phone. Most unbecoming. I wonder what kind of gift basket he'll get.
Oh, this is different, because I actually mentioned something about it being Bryce. Okay, that's pretty cool, but I don't know, I've gone through all the patients. I mean, this game's interesting because it does give you a point to talk about different kind of philosophies and on ways to deal with if you had superpowers or any type of crazy. So it is very interesting in that instant. Oh, it's not asking me to... If I made it up.
Here.
It's interesting.
From a few weeks ago. As you can see, Doctor, he looks perfectly normal.
Okay, but she still went yellow. Okay, alright, well.
Dr. Dekker was very quiet in our sessions after seeing David. After a while, he started talking about David like he was a pet, asking me what I fed him, what he'd do in certain conditions. I think he was fascinated with it all, and David and I had become new test subjects for him. When I said David never listens to me, he urged me to start giving David treats for pleasing me. Not in that way, but showing him how to close a door, for example. If he did it, give him a treat. It did actually work, but I had to stop myself. I felt like I was training a monkey. It just wasn't right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I wouldn't. I mean, yeah, it would feel weird that it would be very much like training an animal, but I don't know if there was any hope of bringing someone back, I guess, in that sort of manner. I guess I would at least attempt it or try it without feeling like I'm being horrible to the person by kind of treating them like an animal, because in the end, if they are a zombie, they are kind of just an animal at that point. And if you could train it out of them, then yeah, hell yeah. Oh, what the hell?